Hey guys, just wanted to drop you a quick note and a reminder. If you go to my website, Digging for End Time Truths, you will find a free download of my newest book, God's Time Capsule, and also New Testament Worship is on there for a free download. You will find that there's other articles on the website that will help us all in our spiritual growth so that we can all grow up together. And just a reminder to like, subscribe, share this as much as you can because we need to get the word out, and hopefully you'll be a part of that. So thank you all. Greetings. Welcome back to the Morning Breadcast. I am Mark Krischik, your host with Digging for End Time Truths, and we are finishing up a week of the topic fruits and nuts, and we have covered a plethora of subjects. And this morning I wanted to finish up this series by going to none other than the book of Revelation. So why am I going there? Because there are 7 different churches that covers Jesus' message to the church. And in every single one, he says, you be an overcomer. Just be an overcomer. And we're going to cover that because walking in the Spirit, that's being an overcomer. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick it up in the book of Revelation. We're going to just go through the churches in every single place where he says in chapters 2 and 3, where he talks to the churches about being an overcomer, right? Let's start in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 7, where he says, he who has an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give to eat from the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. Well, there you go. There's one. That is Jesus says, if you got ears to hear this, if you're an overcomer, I'm going to give you to eat from the tree of life, right? Verse 11, he says, he who has an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. He who overcomes shall not be hurt by the second death. These are all things that Jesus is telling you, listen, if you can grasp this, if you've got an ear to hear, be an overcomer. Because if you're an overcomer, you're not going to be hurt by the second death. In other words, no matter what happens to you in the flesh, eternally, you're good. And that's a powerful place to be. Chapter 2, verse 17 says this, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna to eat. And I will give him a white stone, and on the stone I will give a new name written, which no one knows except him who receives it. Right? So Jesus is saying, I know who you are. If you've got an ear to hear, listen, be an overcomer. Because I'll give you a new name. Verse 26, he says, and he who overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him I will give power over the nations. Wow, right? That's powerful. For being an overcomer. These are things that he's encouraging us to be overcomers, right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 3. Verse 5, he says, he who overcomes shall be clothed in white garments, and I will not blot his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. That is powerful, man. Be an overcomer. He's saying be an overcomer. And he also tells that same church, Philadelphia, because you have kept my command to persevere, I will also keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole world to test those who dwell on the earth. Jesus is saying, listen, if you're an overcomer, if you're following me, I'm going to take you out of this awful time of trial that's coming on the whole earth, the whole world. And it's going to test everyone on the earth. I'm going to take you away from that time period. That's powerful. And that's just a blessing for being an overcomer. But what does he say? Be an overcomer, right? Verse 21, he says, well, let's go to verse 12. He who overcomes, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go out no more. I will write on him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the new Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven from my God. And I will write on him my new name. Jesus says, if you're an overcomer, you're going to be a pillar in the temple of God. That is powerful, man. That's just powerful. Listen, all reasons to be an overcomer, right? And I know we're talking about walking in the Spirit and what are the fruits and what are the nuts. Listen, this is what Jesus says about being an overcomer is walking in the fruits of the Spirit. It's being an overcomer, right? Verse 21, he ends with this to the church of Laodicea. To him who overcomes, I will grant him to sit with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. Wow. You're going to rule and reign with Christ as an overcomer. Why? Because you walk in the Spirit. Pretty awesome, right? And listen, I'm going to leave you with this week, the end of the week, I'm going to leave you with a nugget. It's from Deuteronomy, and you know it. It's chapter 30, verse 19. God puts it before the whole world, and he says, listen, I call heaven and earth as witnesses today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both you and your descendants may live. What is he saying? The nugget for today, be an overcomer. I'm going to leave you with that, and we'll see you again next time on the Morning Breadcast.